Hi, Flosstube.
Greetings.
I'm Laura.
Hi, Joe.
This is the Slowbuck Farm.
Welcome back to all of our returning subscribers. Welcome to all you new people here. Hi. This is a channel where we talk about cross-stitch.
It is Monday, February 10th. Winter is here, maybe. Sort of.
I think it left again.
Showed up late last week and kind of left today. And apparently Valentine's weekend's going to be a great cuddle weekend. I got nothing. One of the virtual stitchers works. She works security in Texas. And I don't know exactly what she does, where she works, but her security post, I guess, it's a shack, is at the top of what she calls a mountain. I guess it's just a really big hill. And she couldn't get up there for like 2 days last week because it was all icy and gross down in Texas. Meanwhile, there's a homesteader in Minnesota that I watch, and she's got a crap ton of snow. We have nothing here in Ohio.
We have fog.
We have fog.
A lot of fog.
We had a pretty boring weekend, too. I was like, what did we do interesting? I stitched. He stitched. That's about it.
I slept.
We didn't do market because we're not making any money at market every week, so that was about it. We had a pretty boring week. So let's talk about who we got love from, darling.
Let me see. Bridget, Cheryl, Victoria, Lynn, and Glenna.
Who we got love from? Cheryl. Cheryl has jokes.
Oh, share.
2,800 stitches in 1 week. That's out of this world. Because last week I stitched on an alien. Cheryl has jokes. Cheryl has jokes.
I should have ended it with a 51.
I should have. But Cheryl has jokes. And we love Cheryl's jokes. I joined a new group. It's called Myth and Magic Stitching Wars. Yes. Myth and Magic Stitching Wars. The basic premise is that there are clans. Think magical creatures. Think vampires, werewolves. But also think druids and centaurs. And
it's D&D for cross-stitching.
It's basically D&D. Well, they have some groups that D&D has that are not in there yet. We could start our own clan. Anyways, or you're a villager if you're not in a clan, because the clans are small. If you're not in a clan, you're a villager. The premise is so many stitches earn you items. The clans use those items to build attacks or healing spells. Obviously, attacks attack other clans. Healing spells heal themselves from damage. There are twists thrown in. It is fantastically fun. Unfortunately, the clans I was pulling for have been defeated. Although Sammy J and I did figure out this morning how to work doing drops for her clan next round.
So basically you're playing a neutral party, but you're not neutral.
We're a neutral party, but we can help clans that we choose to. Villagers are only allowed to gift villagers and fallen clans. Because once a clan's defeated, they can stitch like a regular villager, but they're called the fallen. We are only allowed to gift items, 3 items a day to the clans most days. Some days you get to give a little bit more. After that, it's basically you drop an item on the page. You drop an item on the page, and whoever says claimed for, enter their clan. that clan gets it. It's kind of fun. There's twists and turns, so it really is D&D for the Stitcher. It's fun.
I guarantee you what I did in my last D&D game is not going to happen in that game.
No, it's not. I do not want to be in a clan at this point unless one of my friends who's in the group starts a clan. So there's that. And I forgot to show you guys WhipGo the first 2 weeks. So when we get to plans, we'll talk about WhipGo. Why don't we move on to Whips?
Because the cat's comfortable.
He is comfortable.
He is across our legs.
He is. Whips.
Let's get whipping, as somebody just said.
I did. Let's get stitching, or let's get whipping, or something like that. Anyways.
Let's get the yip yapping. Yippy yabba jippy jabba jippy 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 jibber.
My eyeball is all icky.
Why everything's icky? No, I'm not sick. I'm just tired.
Whipping time. As he drops.
I'll do mine, then I'll get the mouse. Okay, we have the Hyrule Legend of Zelda Link from the Past, Light World. It is on, yes, I actually wrote this down. Hand-dyed by the Slovak farm, Lake Effect Morning 18 count. I got a little bit done. Like, nope.
Didn't you have like 2 rows done last time?
That's what I had before. That's what I have now. I'm actually using multiple colored highlighters, so I actually know how much I did each week.
I'd like to be one of those people, those Flosstubers who has, here's a before picture. Here's what it looks like now. I don't have my shit together like that.
But don't you already have all those pictures from Cheryl's group?
No, I don't. Because once I post it for a challenge as my end photo, I delete it. So you may or may not see the actual...
Great, now she's trying to put a spell on me.
It was Heart Week over at Daily 30. Daily 30 is a group, a Facebook challenge group. We get weekly prompts that last every 2 weeks. We get monthly prompts. Blah, 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 blah. It's a challenge group. It is closed. There are no openings. If we ever get openings, I will let you know. That's my spiel I'm going to say every time, just to cover any questions.
I think we should just get, like, the Star Wars scroll going on.
Something like that. So, Heart Week at Daily 30. So, the human heart is the size of 2 hands clenched together. We had to stitch on something that had 2 hands and a heart. So, Captain Hook was out.
We have prosthetics. There's no reason to be that mean.
I cracked that joke when she first posted it, and she goes along with a few others. So, well, yeah. I chose to do
Poor Tin Man.
Ride for Singing by Lindy Stitches. For my stitches, our maximum stitch count this week was 300. So, Ride for Singing is stitched on 14 count. Pink Champagne by Silk Weavers.
Okay, that works, I guess. I literally had that smack me in the face.
Sorry.
I love you too. I'll just respect your hiding.
So, my 315 stitches. We're on the rest of. I had to stitch in the Great, and then I started the flower border for this side. So you can see our drawing there. Okay, started these flowers, That's what I got. So 315 stitches. Yes, you guys know. You regulars know I gotta hold it up and put it away, or I'll have a mess and I'll be all discombobulated, and I'll be like, what am I doing?
If people want before and after, they can get the before by watching last week's video and the after by watching this week's video.
I did stitch on it last week. Okay. Then we had to stitch on something that had either a fairy or an insect on it, because the fairy wasp is the smallest insect. Someday I'll print out a picture of what my shadow lane actually will look like when it's finished. Till then, insert picture here. That's what it's going to look like. I chose to do 3 hours of stitching rather than count my stitches, because there's a lot of half stitches in here, and there's going to be, I'm done with all of the cross stitches and the half stitches, so I'm on to specialty stitches. So yes, the next time this comes out, this will be a timed affair.
Can I just simplify that?
What?
A stopwatch is a lot easier than trying to count that crap.
It is a lot easier than trying to count this. What I did was finished out this swirl, and there was a little bit in here I needed to finish out. This is being stitched on 28 count, hand dyed by the Slovak Farm, Cleveland Morning, or Lake Effect Morning. I need to come up with a color called Cleveland Crud, because that's a thing around here this time of year. It's like when you don't have any sun for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. We call it the Cleveland Crud. Anyways, so here we are on the shadow lane. I feel like I'm talking really fast.
Okay. Hey, honey, can I just make one observation about that thing?
What?
It looks like a UFO. Maybe you should put your alien head next to it and see if it goes away.
Maybe. We had to stitch on an actual plant, because the heart shape that we draw comes from a seed pod of a now extinct plant.
Am I the only person that finds it a little bit creepy?
So what do I have on it? What do I have that has an actual plant on it? Well, several things. But my actual plant, I worked on Plant Happiness. I am doing a ridiculous color conversion on this with random Fiberlicious threads from when I was in the Fiberlicious Thread of the Month Club. It's crazy. I was like, I'm just going to time my stitches. I'm just going to do the timed option, because I don't think I'm going to get 300 stitches in, because half stitches, back stitches all count funny. I got 288 stitches in on Winter Fairy, and I stitched way more than 3 hours on that. I'm just putting that out there. I basically stitched on it all day Tuesday when I had stitching time, which was like 5 hours more.
1 + 1 is equaling 3. What the hell?
And just called it good.
Maybe you should just stick with the time. You know, I would probably have an easier time doing the timed option than the counted option, for one. And I don't think I'd ever do the counting right. It's me.
It's not that hard to do the counting. It just, you kind of got to know how to count.
Have you met my brain? A stopwatch. I will get a stopwatch. Hey, I will be the dork, because I can do this because I do it for a living. I'll have a calibrated stopwatch to guarantee the time.
Yeah. So on Plant Happiness, I did, and like, I wasn't super stopwatchy about my timing, because I knew I was going to go well over the 3 hour mark. But we're calling it 3 hours. We're calling it good. Okay? Okay.
3+.
So I chose to do I was going to do the timed option again with Plant Happiness. This is just stitched on a white 14 count Aida. I think, no. I have a couple more plants in here, and then I'll be done with the top half of it, of the circle. But I ended up doing 307 and 3/4 stitches, because there's 3/4 stitch and and back stitches in it.
Okay, that hurts my brain.
What?
Little fractions.
Fractional stitches. So that's what I did for Plant Happiness this week. And I'm making very good progress. I've made some pretty good progress on that. I'm quite pleased with it. Then we had to stitch on something with a cat on it. And in case you
Come here, buddy.
Oh, forgot. My Main Street grocery store has a cat on it. Because, you know, if you would like a good laugh, go back to sometime in October when I was like, I don't have a project with a cat on it.
Can I be smart? Technically, at some point or another, every project you've owned has had a cat on it.
Not the way Cheryl means it.
No, but that thought should make her laugh.
It should. I'm working on the dress shop. And here we are. Here's the whole thing that we have stitched. Well, okay, so it's not the whole thing. I'm done up to here, the gazebo. The gazebo. This is on a piece of hand dyed by the Slovak Farm Solo.
Which solo means you couldn't do it again if you tried.
Basically. So the dress shop, the building's done now. I just got to put the door and the bottom window in. There's a tree and some fencing here that needs to go in. And the goal is to finish. The goal on this for the year was finish the gazebo, finish the dress shop. Well on my way to that. Well on my way. Then I will move on to Rexall's drugstore. After I figure out what color it actually should be. There's a bit of debate about that in town. Don't ask. Don't ask. That was 326 stitches. Then I had to stitch on something that had more than 11 colors in it. Stitching this in the called for, there's way more than 11 colors in it. I needed to get this done, so that's what I went with. There's more than 11 colors in it. You also will laugh because about this time is when I joined Myth, the new challenge group. So I just plowed through this and finished my alien head. Da, 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 da.
You're 11 days early.
I know I don't need this until next week, but I'm done with it. I'm glad. He looks a little creepy. But I like it. A little creepy looking. I did his eyes in metallic. And I did his nose and mouth in a darker metallic.
Would you know what that looked like?
Hmm.
That's what happens when an alien gets fashion advice from a country girl.
Basically.
She has that shirt.
No, I don't, because it's ripped.
So I have to buy you another one of those shirts.
Let's find a new one. Pink plaid shirt. It's my favorite shirt. This is stitched on
Please tell me, how many of you actually can look at fabric and tell the count? I want to know how many
I
of you
don't
can
think
do
it's
that.
a 14 count item. It might be a 16. But this is Picture This Plus Fathom. I asked my friend what the fabric was called. She was like, I know it's Fathom, but I think it's Picture This Plus. It is. And I believe it's a 16 count. It might be an 18 count. Sometimes with hand-dyes, it's a little bit hard. To finish that up, I did 542 stitches on it. Well over what I needed to for the challenge, but I wanted it done.
She, how do I put this? Laura wanted it done, and she wanted it done now.
It's not my normal style. It wasn't necessarily off-putting because it wasn't my normal style. Though with the problem Amy had with the fabric being cut wrong, it made it incredibly. I had to stitch it in hand. My stitches don't look great, and then the one thread variegated really weird. And it just kind of got to the point where I was like, okay, I need to get this done because I'm not enjoying it anymore. I think it's cool looking. It's a unique project. I'll never stitch another alien head in my life, probably. But I do think it's neat.
I don't have a life goal.
I think it's fun doing the round robin, getting to stitch on something I wouldn't normally stitch on.
And yeah, I was actually asked about that, and I think she asked me like 4 of these ago, and I was like, no.
We asked him one before we started, and he said no. So that completed Heart Week.
Yay! Laura has a heart.
So for Heart Week, I didn't do the bonus, which was to stitch on something with an actual heart on it, because none of my projects had a clear and present heart shape. Excuse me. And I wasn't starting something new. So that was 1,778 3/4 stitches for Heart Week.
1,000.
Now we go into stitching on the monthlies.
Am I the only person who would have lied to back and say, hey, look, I had the year the country was born? No, it was 2 when you did that. She bops me. You love me.
Yeah. So, and I meant to bring my phone over here with me and give you the song names for the monthlies and the artists. So, Cheryl for the month of February, we are doing love songs. And I've already done the first one. Hold, please. I've already done the first one, which was Love Will Keep Us Together by Captain and Tennille. So this weekend I did Cupid by Sam Cooke. And Cupid shoots arrows, and hunters use arrows to shoot deer. And everybody on Virtual Stitchers was like, really? That's where you're going with that, Laura? Yes, that's where Laura's going with it.
And they do aim for the heart.
Because this was called on WhipGo to be finished in January. It's not done yet. I stitched 532 stitches on this. And I still have to stitch in all of this side of the background and under here. So I stitched in all this background. Those 532 stitches. A lot of stitches. So I still have some work to go on that. And then we were going to the chapel and we were going to get married.
Going to the chapel
By the
and
Dixie
where?
Cups. Yes. And the lovely Glenna was singing this on Virtual Stitchers the other night. In the song Going to the Chapel, they talk about I'll be his and he'll be mine and we'll be together until the end of time. And she gave up eternity to be with him in a mortal life. So she technically ended her time for love to be his and for him to be hers.
You do realize there's also the scene of their wedding, right?
That it is.
That was so much easier. It's their wedding!
This is probably going to get busted out for another monthly. Just saying. So, I did 500 stitches even on this. This is my bed sheet. This is my bed sheet. So, I did from about here over. That's 5 blocks of 100, so that's 500 stitches.
Da, 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 da.
So I now have 800 stitches in on this.
Da, da, da.
Solid chance we'll be working on this again for another monthly.
Oh, you could use it to make healing items.
True story. So, for the 2 monthlies I did this weekend, I did a total of 1,062 stitches. So that means I did a total of 2,840 and 3/4 stitches this week. I did nothing this weekend, folks. I did minimal this weekend, people. Minimal. I stitched.
That's something.
And that doesn't count the 249 stitches I put in on one of my projects last night to start off Chocolate Week.
Chocolate Week.
Y'all, I feel like a... And you know, the thing of it is, Monday and Tuesday last week, I came home from my day job and I worked. I did the afternoon work of making bags and dyeing fabric. Wednesday, I taught PSR. Thursday, I had a training class all night. Saturday morning, I finished making bags. So, no, I really didn't do a whole lot of nothing. I guess that's one of the advantages of being child-free is I have time to stitch.
Stab, stab, stab.
Nah.
Stab, stab, stab. Nah.
Stitching. So that was our whips for the week.
Yay!
20 minutes of whips. That's the bulk of this week's program. Haul? I
Y'all.
don't think we have haul.
No.
We don't have haul. Plans.
You have those?
Yes, I do. I have plans. I got some big, big plans.
I have a plan. It's kind of big, but it is a plan. I don't need color coordinated maps to figure out what I'm doing. You haven't reached that level yet? I expect like color coordinated calendar things where it's like, this stitch is for this prompt, this stitch is for this prompt. I'll get this many stitches on this day.
No, I just write it down by the day.
And I just do it.
Okay. I'm in 2 challenge groups. One has prompts. One is stitch on whatever you like to earn bits. It's there are some people who are in a multitude of prompt-based group challenge groups. They've got it color coordinated. I think my brain would explode if I tried that.
No, what would happen is the 2 colors would touch and your brain would break.
There's
You mean the red is touching the purple?
No haul, obviously, because we're talking plans. I did participate in the Daily 30 Valentine's Exchange. I have gotten a bunch of Valentines from that. Carla sent me some bobbins and a bit of thread. I didn't pull a Sammy J and had bobbins exploding everywhere when I opened it.
Huh?
Don't ask.
Too late. I'm asking.
Sammy J opened her card from Carla in the middle of the post office and went like this out of the envelope. And there was bobbins in it. She had citrus confetti everywhere in the post office.
One, I only open envelopes at home.
Hoosier Apple sent me a bit of floss. And then another lovely lady sent me a couple of charts she rescued from magazines and a bit of floss and like 3 or 4 Valentines. It was a lovely envelope. If you watch my videos, that was a lovely little surprise. I sent mine out today because, I didn't have envelopes until this weekend because I didn't know I needed envelopes. So, no haul really. Plans. Your plan is to stitch on?
Whatever I feel like.
There you go, people.
Probably high roll. Not tonight, though. My day had, let's just say, I worked an hour and 20 minutes more than I should have today. On a Monday, I got 3 hours of sleep on. My brain don't count.
I need to get you more sleep on Sunday night.
Good luck. Oh, it wouldn't be, it probably would have been okay if I didn't go on site, but
Okay.
they like doing that to me anymore. Sorry.
Lost too bitchy nose. Okay. Well, it's chocolate week at Daily 30. This prompted the need to buy something that's not Stitchy related. That's chocolate related. Literally, we were all like, we need chocolate. Friday when Cheryl posted it, we were all like, we need chocolate. So I bought chocolate Friday at Sam's Club. I bought a 310 count bag of Hershey's Kisses.
Wait. Do the door thing. Cheers.
Okay, I can't eat it right now because
Cheers.
I'm talking. So, let's talk about chocolate this week, shall we? So the Aztecs we all know that the Aztecs and ancient Middle America, South American cultures love their chocolate. They use cacao beans, the Aztecs use cacao beans as money. That's something I could get behind. No, it wouldn't, because I'd eat all my money. So we're supposed to stitch on a project that we have spent in excess of $20 on. Pick a whip. Pick a whip.
Cheryl, what projects do you have that didn't cost that much? Have you looked at thread? By the way, how do you like this thing on my head?
I guess if you do a small and you don't use DMC and you just use a basic fabric, it would be less than $20. But most of my whips, I've got specialty threads. I've got over-dyed fabric. I'm just going to pick something when I get to the end of the week, and that's what it's going to be. So, Dr. James Baker and John Hannon founded Baker's Chocolate Company in 1765. Baker's Chocolate is not just for baking. Most people know it's synonymous with baking. They did at one point. I don't know if they still do produce eating chocolate. But we focus on it for baking chocolate. So we are to stitch on something where the focus of the project is not in the title. A little bit of a challenge with that. Because I was like, what do I have? Not that project. I went with cardinal points because the name is cardinal points, which would be the north, south, east, west. But the focus of this project is all of the flora that's in it.
Plus the cardinal's kind of pathetic too.
I mean, even the biggest cardinal is really overrun by the flowers, don't you think? What do you guys think? I think
The name is about 5% of the entire pattern.
that's what I'm thinking. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. So that's what we're going on for. The focus is not in the title. Okay, y'all. Here we go for the stretch. This is the stretch of the week. I just ripped the cover page.
Shame.
Look, there's a reason I make working copies of patterns. It's because I beat my patterns up. In 1842, Cadbury made the very first ever chocolate bar. They are most famous today for their Easter chocolate.
Name that animal down below.
So we have to stitch on something that we can relate to Easter. This is where the stretch comes in, folks. I'm stitching on the angel. So at Jesus' resurrection, when Mary Magdalene went to the tomb, there was an angel of the Lord that said, "He is not here," to Mary Magdalene and the other women. So there's an angel. So there we go. The angel of the Lord saying he is not in this tomb. Now, I could have gone with some of the weirder things that I know that relate to Easter. The three wise men at Christmas brought gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Gold signified Jesus' royal birth, being the king of all. Frankincense is an incense, and it was burned in ancient times when anointing dead bodies, so that you weren't overcome by the stench of a dead body. Myrrh is an oil, a fragrant oil, that was used in ancient times when anointing a dead body, so it didn't smell.
So they were trying to make a dead guy rich.
So the whole reason the wise men brought these three gifts, it foretells of Jesus' death and resurrection with the other two gifts. I could have went that route. I just went with the angel route because the other thing is a little creepy. I have started stitches on that. I'm about halfway done with that. But I'm not going to show you till next week. Okay. In 1923, Mars Company developed the Milky Way bar. That same year, Reese's Cup was introduced by Hershey's. We are supposed to stitch on something. Both of those contain something inside of the chocolate. So we are supposed to stitch on something inside of something else. You know, stitch on something inside a border. There will be more stitches done on Ride for Singing because it is a goal to finish this year. That's my story. I'm sticking through it. What am I going to do when I'm done with that project and I'm not obsessed with it?
Lord of the Rings.
True story.
Lady of the Flag.
Yeah,
Nativity. Main Street. Santa House.
Okay.
Want me to keep going?
Now. Okay.
Hey, honey. I have a little hat.
It takes 400 cacao beans to make 1 bar of chocolate. Excuse me. So, we are to stitch 400 stitches on something. Our top tier of stitches this week is 500. We are to stitch 400 stitches on something with 4 repeating sections.
You're already done with the alien head.
I'm already done with the alien head. But the top border and the bottom border repeat. And it repeats the whole way through the Main Street series, all 10 pieces. So there we go. So I'm going to put some more stitches in on my Main Street. Try to get that done.
Yay.
So the bonus for this week is to stitch on an actual piece of chocolate. I didn't think I had anything. I organized my patterns yesterday. I have something that looks like a Hershey Kiss. I don't know if I actually want to start it though. From our first retreat in Hershey, I have something that looks like a Hershey Kiss.
Other stupid question.
Hmm.
Santa house.
There's no actual chocolate in that.
Wow. Butter schnitzel.
Well, the cookies are chocolate chip, and they definitely, it looks like chocolate chip cookies. But, if I get to it, I get to it. That's kind of my theory with the bonuses. Honestly, that's mostly my theory with most of it. If I get to it, I get to it. Okay. Sorry. The plans that I forgot to tell you about were WhipGo. Let me pull out WhipGo out of the back of the binder. Out of the back of the planner. So January's WhipGos, if you remember correctly, were true stripes on the One Nation flag. And I just told you the Buffalo Plaid Silhouette Coaster. Obviously, I haven't started One Nation yet. Now, you don't have to have your WhipGo call done by the end of the month in order for it to get marked, called, and finished if you finish it later. So, we're good. I actually need to highlight Santa House because I have all of the outside of Santa. No, I don't. That's a lie. I don't have the other side done. Never mind. So the calls for February were block 3 and 23, which on my WhipGo board were Miss New Year's Fairy and 1,000 Stitches on Cardinal Points. I will reach my goal on Cardinal Points this week.
Can I ask a stupid
Because
question?
I think I'm at like 700 something stitches. What?
Wouldn't this make a third group you're in?
Technically, this is a third challenge group I'm in. Yes. So Miss New Year's Fairy is a finish, and Cardinal Points is 1,000 stitches because I think I have it on here. Yeah, I have it on here twice for 1,000 stitches. I have Lady of the Flag on here 5 times for 1,000 stitches. Now I finished one of my Scenic Farms stitches. I have to go back and look because if you finish something and it's not yet called, so this is what my WhipGo board looks like. I think I might have explained this back in January. If something gets called and it's not finished, it gets an X in it. If something gets finished and is not called yet, I make a box around it. Then when it's called and finished, I highlight the whole thing. My rewards are basically every time I get a WhipGo, which is either a column, a row, a column, or diagonal.
Queen movement.
I have a couple, like if I get one WhipGo, I'm going to buy myself a Dimensions kit that I really want. If I get 2, I'm going to start a kit that I really want to start, that I have. Basically is what I have given myself. If I do happen to get 3, I'll probably buy myself another kit that I really want. You know. Now, so like Scenic Farm, I know I've done 500 stitches on Scenic Farm. So I actually need to box that. I actually have Scenic Farm on here twice. And I think I might have done 1,000 stitches on it so far this year. So I actually need to box both those. I'm not entirely sure. Plain Happiness is on here for 500 stitches, so I have part of that done. So some people put a different project in each box. I put some finishes, some stitching goals on here, just because I thought if I put, well, number one, I don't have 25 projects, but I kind of thought if I put a whole bunch of finishes on here, like I want to finish this, I want to finish that, I would overwhelm myself and I would give up halfway through the year.
No,
So
you give up your brain. We just sit there and turn them jelly.
I do need to obviously make a couple marks on here for stuff that I've gotten, you know, for and yes, I gave myself a free space. For some things that I've gotten goals on that I need to mark down. So that's my whip go. I apologize that I did not explain it to you guys until now. I will do better about keeping up with that. Oh, I've done 719 stitches on cardinal points. I wrote it down and stuck it back here. I need to check on a couple of the other ones that are on here for stitch count goals. How am I doing with my my hours? I have no idea. I kind of forgot about it and I haven't kept up and no idea where I'm at. And I have done nothing on the daily 30 scavenger hunt because you can't double dip it until you're off of the first tier. And to be completely honest, I'm busy enough doing weekly prompts and monthly prompts that if I get
your brain's gonna cook.
If I get to ever doing any of the scavenger hunt prompts, I will, but I'm not counting on it. Honestly, I'm working on weekly and monthlies. That's what I'm doing.
Comfy life.
That's my goals in life. So, that's plans. That's whips. That's plans. That's Flosstube for the week.
Let's see, it is. If you're not a subscriber and you stuck around this long, thank you. And also for the subscribers for sticking along that far too. But if you're not a subscriber and you like to hear more of our hijinks, please click subscribe. I'm usually a little bit more energetic. I apologize. Share the video, comment, bell notifications so you actually know when we do stuff.
Phone is blowing up right now.
And other than that, have a good week, y'all.
Bye, guys. We'll see you next